Hey guys, I'm back at it again with another Hero Deck profile. Yeah, it's July. Um, New format just kind of kicked in, I guess. The new ban list was active not too long ago and made some changes for this format. So I thought, it'd be perfect time to, come up with another deck profile just to show some changes. I've made quite a bit of changes, I think, this time around. So, without further ado, let's get to the deck profile. So we'll start off with the main. So start off with three Stratos, pretty standard. It's your starter. It also pops cards when you want to go off. Most likely than not, try to search Forest. If not, it's a good bait because you might already have Forest in hand. So it leads to a lot of your plays, and definitely you want to see it. So you play it at three. It's pretty standard. We played one Liquid, one Mist, one Honest. So unfortunately, I had to cut Solid Soldier. I had to quote unquote trim the fat, I guess, because I felt that for this format, I need to get prepared for more of my other opponents' meta decks, and I found Solid Soldier was only really good going first when you had like a kind of optimal hand where you had like a Stratos maybe and a what's the card and a Forest readily available, so that just in case you get negated or somewhere, like you get ashed, or you at least have a Forest play to follow up. Yeah, going second, I felt like most often than not it was getting negated, stopped, and then even going first, because I find like Imperm and Valor are back in the format now because they want to stop Tri Brigade and Drytrons and stuff. So yeah, sometimes your Solid Soldier is just like dead in the water and just pretty much becomes a brick in your hand. So I felt like I needed to get cut just to put some more power cards to I guess act as techs against the meta. So definitely, unfortunately, had to go. It might come back. Who knows? I did like Solid Soldier, but yeah, for now, I just this seems to be working for me. We play, yeah. So Liquid's pretty self-explanatory. It's pretty much a staple now. Most often than not, you can use it for your draw two, discard one. But if you have Fusion Destiny, you can Turbo Darklaw just with this by specialing this guy. So this girl, I mean, I always get confused with Shadow Mist because it's very dark and it's hard to see. Shadow Mist, yeah. So like I know some people play two, but I really like playing one. If I have to use another one, like I usually kind of recur it with Decider, which I also do with her as well too. It's Shadow Mist. So Shadow Mist, I usually kind of resolve mostly once per duel in my other duels, unless I brick, which hopefully I don't, because that usually leads to me losing. So yeah, like I'll use it to search the mass change off of specialing it by either Hero Lives or Liquid Soldier effect. Um, yeah, and if I need an extra one, I'll just recur with Decider. Same thing. So, and then Honest Neos, Honest Neos is pretty self-explanatory. It's protection for your big boss monsters, and yeah, so it protects Darklaw, Plasma, Bane. It gives Dystopia boost, so definitely puts in work. So that's it for the elemental heroes. We play three forests, two increase. So two increase is still working for me. I always draw the first one for some reason. So yeah, in order to avoid that, I play two just so I don't draw it and draw the one of if I do only play one, and my engine becomes dead, and then you have to pretty much get a bit creative, which most often not leads into you losing. Play two Vion. So two Vion is pretty standard. I was thinking about playing three at a time. I might switch to that, but at the same time, like I just want my combo to go off, and I want to. If I find I seed enough anyways, so and this is the card like if I seed my hand, I don't mind because if you normal Vion, it's very underrated. You can kind of at minimum get a Sunriser or a Ab Zero or a Scuridao or and then a draw two, discard one, so you get like a pretty good hand, a potential hand as well too, just in case. So you can probably draw a Fusion Destiny, a few Mass Change, who knows. So definitely can lead to OTKs as well too, just by itself. So off to the Destiny heroes. So we play two Malicious, Fortunately, only at 2. I don't think it's coming at 3 anytime soon because, yeah, unless it gets eroded and stuff. So, who knows? That might happen. Destiny Heroes apparently getting support soon with Animational Chronicles. They should be getting support with Burst of Destiny, not all these fucking meme decks, but I don't know. I guess someone at Konami is smoking something because they don't realize that heroes sell like crazy. If you haven't seen the prices lately, like it's pretty, it's pretty self-explanatory that you should print more hero product, probably every year at least, just because people buy it like crazy. But who knows? We might get some more support regardless because heroes do sell. Um, Play one Decider. So as I mentioned, Decider is really good for recursion. Most often than not, you kind of use them for that ability. And yeah, I definitely pull it off quite a bit. And I kind of like playing this over Decider and no, Celestial and Drawhand because you get the guaranteed +1 and you know what you're getting. You get to choose, right? So, and then also it kind of comes up because you can protect yourself from burn damage. So from getting burned in time kind of sucks. So that protects that. You can get it back in your hands, so you get another resource to kind of go off in your plays. And then at times you can just normal him and then sit on it. And then if your opponent has a level 6 or higher monster, they can't really do anything in attack. They can't declare an attack, so that's kind of good as well too. And yeah, and then also it's a Fusion Destiny burn target as well too. So you can target this and then burn your opponent for damage and hopefully for game. Play the Dynatag. Dynatag is kind of just used to boost up Dystopia Engrave, but at times, it can protect your life points. When you're, there's been times where I've been whittled down to like less than 1,000, and my opponent less than 1,000, and had this in hand, my opponent would try to swing for lethal, discard it, had Decider Engrave, so we both take 1,000, but I cancel out the 1,000 I take with Decider's ability, bring it to my hands, and then win the duel. So that's very anime, anime-like, and just in my opinion, justifies playing both of them together. So yeah, definitely kind of cool. It's pretty much your searchable archetype of Battle Fader, just in case. And it does come up every now and then, but most often than not, you're going to use them just to boost up Dystopia or Plasma. Okay, that's it for... Actually, no. And then we have... Speaking of which, we have Plasma. So Plasma is God, as far as I'm concerned. It's a walking skill drain on legs. You can buff him up with Honest Neos. Only thing that kind of sucks about him, he doesn't have protection, but, we're getting support with D-Force coming out soon, so I'll have to get a bit creative and try to fit that in the deck. But, we'll probably get about doing that. And, yeah, definitely put some work. Most often than not, when I'm not able to make Darklaw, I'll go for my Plasma plays and then hope I win. So that's it for the Destiny Heroes. We play 1 Prodigy, 1 Necrom, 1 Dusty Gold. So if you've been seeing my profiles, you've been seeing me play this quite a bit. This is pretty much my answer just for the 3rd Mali. It acts as a substitute for that. And there's so many ways to get this guy in Graves to special this. So, and then you can just kind of make a consistent Plasma as far as I'm concerned. Because a lot of people cry that you can't make Plasma. It's like 3 is too much now that Mali... 3 tributes is too much now that Mali is down to 2. But, that acts as my other extender. And extenders are never bad in any deck, even though if you add another potential brick. And same time, if you even draw this, you still can just special from your hand, and you have you can still go into your Cross Crusader plays, hopefully, or follow-up plays after, and then have an additional body on board to go into, I don't know, Plasma or whatever. And then you have a Dusty Gold, so that kind of is your Dark Calling Searcher, and then brings out Bane, which unfortunately you have to play if you want to be competitively. If not, then yeah, I guess you can play for fun, but if you want to actually take down and be the true underdog hero that you are and compete toe-to-toe with the meta, you need to play gold, unfortunately. No ifs, ands, buts about it. Now for hand traps, we play 1 Ash, and then something new I decided to add, I play 2 Bell now. So I just got these in the mail. I find Bell is a very, very strong hand trap right now. It definitely is very high impact. Whereas Ash, yes, it hits probably every deck in the format and even the meta, but it just I find it's very low impact. Like For more often than not, if it's you're playing against a good deck, like a very high tier like Drytron or Tri Brigade, they can play through an Ash easily. So it's a decent card to draw because it could slow them down a bit, but at times you need something else to follow up, which Bell kind of does very handily. And yeah, just certain things that Bell does. It negates Revolt, which Tri Brigade plays, which is their trump card. It negates a lot of Drytron Grave effects, so definitely worth it just to play off that. It pretty much hits all their cards in Grave, so definitely really puts in work. Um, it stops Dogmatica cards like, what is it? Punishment, Nadir Servant, and negates. Um, yeah, it just negates a lot of stuff. It negates a whole bunch of Eldritch stuff like Sanguine, the Eldritch Golden Lord Grave Effect. I think the White Eldixir or something or whatever that is. And then yeah, I just find like every single meta deck it kind of hits. Even like Sky Striker now, it hits Ray. It prevents them from recurring engage like 3 or 4 times in the turn. So definitely puts in work in that aspect, and also negates Gamma as well too, which you might see every now and then as well too. So it's just really good card IMO, and you should be playing it or playing something like DD Crow or Skullmeister. But my preference, I like Bell. And it took a while for it to get good, but finally it's really good. So yeah, that's that. We play 3 mass change because you have a mass hero deck and we have 3 viable targets in our extra deck, so pretty self-explanatory. Play 3 Fusion Destiny. This is, if this resolves, most often than not you win. And yeah, it just 1 card Dark Claw, 1 card Plasma, one is a Dystopia, and maybe a Bane, depending on your hand. And yeah, so it does way too much. It's also a +3 if you want as well too off of Dangerous if you put your Necrom or Mali in the grave. So yeah, definitely worth playing. And then our other 3 ofs, we play 3 droplets. So these are still kind of expensive even with the ultra reprints. I'm not gonna get that anytime soon. I'm not gonna spend a grand on cardboard right now, especially for like an ulti that just came out right now. It just kind of shows you how crazy the what you call the card market is now because of COVID, and everyone's just bored as shit and they're just buying like lots and lots of products because they have so much money. It's pretty much inflation at its finest right now. So I might try to win it at locals or remote duels and stuff, but yeah, I'm not going to be paying $300 a pop for droplets. No siree, Bob. It's not worth it. IMO. Play 1 A Hero Lives, play a Rhoda, and yep, that's it for the searchers. I actually don't play any e-calls. That's kind of what I wanted to address for my deck. That's a little controversial, but I was actually kind of surprised. They got some good feedback when I was on the Hero Duelist boards on Facebook, and a lot of people have been trying to do that as well too because they find that we're in a droll heavy format, and an additional ad. If you play e-call, you add your card and you get drilled, your turn stops right there. So I find like you're better off to have more power cards in your deck. And if I was to pick between E-Call and Rhoda, I definitely play the Rhoda. So because you get to potentially search Vion if you need to kind of go off. So depending on how bricky your hand is. So and then Hero Lives, obviously, it just puts some work. Hopefully I'll go to 2. Should have went to 2 already, but Konami's sleeping, I guess. They just want to make heroes strong, make heroes great again. So it is what it is. So that's it for the searchers. The rest is for the 1-ofs. Play 1 miracle. You searched off of Sunrise. You can actually loop this quite a bit when you play Wonder Driver, which a lot of people are now starting to realize the greatness of Wonder Driver. You could just spam, nice miracle elemental hero targets, fusion targets, and it's so fun to do it as well too. So definitely put some work. 1 poly searchable off of Vion, and definitely you have fusion targets in your deck. You play a fusion hero deck, so definitely put some work in that aspect. Dark Calling for your Adusted Goal to search, and that's what enables you to get Bane on the field. We play 1 talent. Just in case you get hand trapped and you have no follow-ups, it's kind of good to use talents. And then at times, what else happens? Yeah, you can take your opponent's. If your opponent uses Dragoon and negates you, you can take that and use their Dragoon against them and hopefully swing for game. Or yeah, if you don't have any follow up plays or whatnot, or if you have a decent enough hand and your opponent hand trapped you, you can just use this and forceful sentry them and take a look at their hand and then pretty much spin a card back to their deck. So definitely really good. We play one super poly because we do have super poly targets in the side and the extra deck. We do play Omni Heroes in this build, so definitely have viable targets for that, and it's a good power card. And I actually see it quite a bit in this deck, and it's very consistent. So might as well play it if I can. And then for the last card, we play one Call by the Grave because, man, I know a lot of people as hero players are afraid of Nibiru and stuff, but I just hate Droll and Lancia and stuff. So if I can draw this and I could use this at stop one hand trap from going through, then I'm happy because most often than not, then I'll win, and then my opponent will be salty as fuck because I draw the spicy one of, and Call by the Grave is limited for a reason because it's a very powerful card, and if I stop the hand trap, most often than not, I'm able to go off. So yeah, that's it for the main deck. We'll go into the extra deck. Yeah. So you play 2 Dark Claws. So pretty self-explanatory. Dark Claw still shits on most of them, so that's why you play it. And it's very oppressive and irritating, and I love it because it's amazing, and it's also very beautiful because your boy has the ultis. I picked them up when they were $60 back in the day, and now they're I don't know, they're close to I think 850, $900 again because of the stupid market. So it sucks. Never gonna move these bad boys though. I just love my hero deck. That's the only deck I ever love playing. No matter how bad or how good heroes are, I'll always play them regardless because the love is unconditional, and that's why I always strive to try to make them as competitive as possible. So I could just dish out that money to play Drytrons, Tri Brigades, whatever flavor the month deck is out. But heroes are forever IMO. So it's the only joy I get from playing Yu-Gi-Oh is actually playing this deck. So that's just a little tidbit if you guys haven't realized that yet. Master Hero Acid, so really good for pretty much destroying back row. There's still a lot of people that play Altergeist, Guru, stun decks and stuff. So Acid and your boy Ab-Zero definitely comes in clutch. You mass change Ab-Zero into Acid, and then you pretty much board wipe and all that. It doesn't come up as often as I'd like, but it does come up every now and then. It's cool as fuck whenever it happens. So that's why I find that's worth playing. Sunrise, really, really good. It has 3 built-in effects that are really come up. It's a Miracle Searcher, buffs up your heroes on the field, and also gives you a little bit of pseudo protection, a pop on the field. So definitely really underrated. Play 1 Shining. So this is pretty much a super poly target. Every now and then you might be able to, because it's light, there's a lot of good light monsters like UCT, Zeus, even Ultimateness, Herald of Ultimateness is light, so you definitely use that against that. And then every now and then you might use his second ability where you get to recur 2 banished elemental heroes and add them to your hand, but it very rarely happens. If anything, it's going to happen like a mid to late kind of game thing, and then hopefully you can kind of pop off after that. But most likely you kind of use him because he's a miracle target. Well, he's a miracle target as well too, but a super poly target, and he can kind of get big as well too, close to the end game. We play 1 Escurdo. He's your super poly dark target. His effect is trash, but you pretty much play him because he's an extender, miracle extender, and you get to super poly darks, and you get to super poly your opponent's Dragoon. What is it? Access Code. Yeah, and that's another one that you can also use it against. And then we play 1 Great Tornadoes. So I just recently got this bad boy in the mail, and it's also very beautiful too. He kind of he's a super poly target against prank kids, tri brigades. It's kind of funny. I still actually face quite a bit of bird up decks that use the barrier statue, so that kind of comes in handy against that as well too. And yeah, definitely a really cool card. He also kind of halves all your attack, your opponent's attack and defense, because a lot of times I find opponents like the turtle or like kind of sit on big monsters or like sit in defense with big monsters, and yeah, so Great Tornado is kind of a good card to have on the field after you have your other heroes, half everything and then kind of go off for lethal. So really, really cool card too. And it also looks fucking cool as hell too. So, sorry, I just have to say that. And then we have our Destiny hero, Fusion Destiny targets. So we have, what you call Dangerous. Dangerous is really cool. You use I usually use them as a one card Dark Claw, but you can also dump Decider, I think, by milling a random brick card in your hand and then recur that and then add follow-up plays afterwards. So definitely really cool. You can also get kind of big as well too if you discard Destiny hero, and that might come up as well too. It's very niche, but definitely comes up every now and then. You play one Dystopia. So Dystopia is a very underrated card. He pops cards on the field, so it's good to pop your opponent's one zoo monster, and I'm so happy that Dryden got hit. But yeah, like they can still make Zeus just by the normal summon and all that, so it's really good to pop that card or even pop Mystic Mine. So that's pretty much your only main deck out to Mystic Mine, just having Dystopia on the field and going off from there. And then also burns for a game like 1600 when you target Decider, and then also yeah, it just really, really good card. And then for the rest, we have Bane. Bane literally puts in work. He's really good mid to late game. Sometimes you might use an extender if he's a brick card in your hand, but if Dark Calling is a brick with whatever, a Dusted Gold or whatever your other evil hero targets are. But most often than not, he's really good after your turn one play, and pretty much hard to out, especially in the grind game. So, it's pretty much your answer to Dragoon. So many times I've went toe to toe with Dragoon, and you just can crash, and then he'll stay on the field because he can't be destroyed by battle or card effects. So definitely puts in work. The Raigeki comes up very often. He has a one card Raigeki on the field with everything that's lower than him attack wise, and then you can just boost him up with the Honest Neos, and then pretty much assert your dominance that way. And yeah, really, really, really good card, and expensive unfortunately, but you gotta do what you gotta do, right? Play 2 Cross Crusader. So, I tried playing 1 for a while, but 2 definitely comes up a lot, especially in grind, after your turn 1 plays. So definitely want to keep doing that. And yeah, just it's pretty much adds to a lot of plays, and it provides a searcher for you. So play 1 Dread Decimator. So yeah, I'm getting a nice Japanese secret in the mail as well too. It's gonna look nice and crispy, but yeah, looking forward to that. It kind of adds a boost for cards, hero cards underneath you, so another way to get a Dystopia pop. It also kind of makes all your monsters big, and does piercing as well too, which actually comes up a lot in mid to late game as well too. And then we have the one Winter Driver, which really, really underrated and slept on. It's good for recurring your change spells like Mass Change, Poly, Miracle, even Super Poly recurs. So definitely a very, very, very good card. All right, so that's it for the extra. Now for the side. So we'll just go through this really quick. Didn't really change too much on the side. Play 3, exchange, because we don't like Nibiru or cards that are Dark Ruler or Raigeki or any cards that blow up our hero field and make us look free. So we kind of use exchange, and it's also good to gain the hand knowledge. So it's kind of like what Infernobles kind of did for a while, and they did pretty well. So this is kind of your unsearchable way of using that, and that's why you want to see it. So you play 3 and usually side it in when you're going first. yeah, when you're going first after the second game. We play 3 Droll. Droll is it's probably one of the best hand traps in the game right now. It stops Tritrons, slows down Tri Brigades. Yeah, definitely a really, really good card. Also good against Dinos as well too. So, and good against Invoke Shaddoll Dogmatica as well. So, yeah, it's just a lot of times you resolve this and your opponent has no answer. If you have an OTK play, you usually win the game. Play 3 Cosmics. Cosmic is really, really good. You know, you see a lot of back row, Mystic Mine still around, so you play Cosmic. Pretty self-explanatory. Also, yeah, Sky Striker is back as well too, so you know it's good to banish a lot of your Sky Striker spells. You know, engage. You don't want your opponent to recur that, right? So you can just use Cosmic Cyclone on it and go off from there. You know, use that against the Area Zero, against multi-roll, so definitely put some work. We have 2 Lancia. Lancia is very good against Tri Brigade, Zoo Tri Brigade. Also really good against Eldritch decks, and yeah, I guess also like Invoke Shaddoll Dogmatica because they also banish quite a bit as well too. So yeah, so I'm thinking about maybe switching them out later, but I don't know. We'll see how good Zoo Tri Brigade is doing, because I might switch him for Skullmeister depending on how the format is going. But for now, I'll just keep him for now. 2 Lightning Storms, so it's kind of good that these guys are getting reprinted. You know, these are kind of a staple in side decks now, so you use it against back row. It's also acts as you know, if your opponent has a lot of attack position monsters, you can use Lightning Storm and hopefully go for game. Play 1 Heartbeat Feather Duster to clear back row, and then 1 Red Reboot. So that's your other power card that puts in work. And most often now when you play Red Reboot and you use it, you usually win the game. So that's why you play it. Anyways, guys, that was my deck profile. Thanks for watching. You know, like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll just keep this going as long as I can. Thanks, guys.